Alright, what's up guys? Hope your day is going awesome. We got a lot of stuff we're doing this week, but it's been a while and I'm finally getting time to do a walk around video of the Tacoma. I know you guys have been wanting to see what all it has in it and talk a little bit more about it. So now we can do that today and show you guys what all it has. So the engine is a 3.4. I got a TRD supercharger up top here with a little bit smaller pulley. Has URD, their 6-injector fueling kit, as well as a couple of URD things. It's pretty straightforward. Has this fancy hot air intake. It's not a cold air intake. I'm a firm believer that those are just a giant hot air intake, so maybe someday it'll make its way back to a cold air intake. I don't know, it's staying that way because that's what it is, and I want to drive it, wheel it. I don't want to get too much into it. I also have some long tube headers on this. The headers were actually on this vehicle when I got it, so I just decided to leave those there. I'm more of a fan of the stock manifolds, just because the headers usually tend to crack out, and then you have problems with those, so not a huge fan of them, but they're on there, they're working, they haven't cracked yet, so that works good. And then up here I have the washer tank for the wipers relocated. It was originally down here, or down up under here, and when I did all my trimming for the tires, I needed to relocate that, so that made its way up here. I don't think I have anything else under the hood other than that. It's pretty simple and clean. I definitely like having the blower. That helps a lot.
What kind of boost do you get out of that? Do you know?
Numbers.
Numbers?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there between something and something else?
I don't have a boost gauge on this. I'd like to put one on it, but at the same time, I don't really care. It's got 230,000 and still runs strong. So why? I'm not changing anything on it. It just runs the same how it is. So.
Yeah, these Tacomas really perform well. The power plants are awesome.
Heck yeah, they are. I mean, even when I do an oil change, it looks the same as when I put it in 3,000-4,000 miles ago. It does great. I've never had a vehicle that is doing this well with this many miles. So shout out to Toyota for good engineering on that stuff. They run cool too. I mean, we beat the crap out of these in the snow, just sitting on the rev limiter, and it doesn't ever get hot.
Yeah, my Jeep, sometimes it gets a little warm out there if I'm not moving, and it's not like a big issue, but it does get concerning at times. Like sometimes pop the hood to keep the airflow. So what do you have behind the motor? What's behind that?
So I guess real quick before we move to the transmission, the only other things I've done with the engine is just general maintenance stuff as far as gaskets and the front timing stuff, you know, to help keep it good and strong and going smooth. But that wraps up the engine. For the transmission, I have an automatic in this. Most of the people we go wheeling with have manuals. They hate the automatics, but I've had manuals in my past wheelers, and I really wanted to try the automatic, so I left it with the automatic to try it out, and I absolutely love it, so I'm probably going to do more builds with the automatic. I'm liking it quite a bit more. I mean,
yeah, I love my automatic. It works really well. I noticed that a lot of the times people lose momentum with their manuals, whereas the automatics keep it going and keep pushing through the snow.
Definitely depends on your shifting. With this, I do plan on, I got a shifter I've been working on that I'm going to make it to where I can manually shift it. I'm trying to make it to where I can do tap up, tap down. So there's a little bit of stuff I'm working with there as far as computers and making it do that, because you can't really do it manually per se. You can to a degree, but not with just 2-button tap up, tap down. So that's what I'm doing there. And then, yeah, the interior is pretty clean and basic. Just your regular old Tacoma. I got the custom fit floor mats, front and rear. Got those in the back. I really like having these. These things are awesome for, especially with, we do a lot of snow wheeling here, so it keeps all the water off your carpet.
Yep, keeps the snow out.
And then I got a sub there in the back. That box thing was already there, so I just tossed that in. Honestly, it works good. We used to have a lot of stereo stuff back when we were in high school, and then we went away from it.
Yeah, we kind of grew up a little bit.
It's kind of nice to have that in this, because I don't have it in any other vehicle. So
yeah, my Tacoma also has a little bit of a stereo in it too. It's just.
And then here in the back we have this compressor is for the front locker, which is an ARB. We'll talk more about that when I get to the front, but that is in here mainly because I've blown out air lines before in the past and you can't hear the compressor running, so I don't want to burn up the compressor with it just running all the time. So I put it in the cab, that way I can hear it. If I do blow an airline, it'll just sit there and run. You have a little bit of noise when it kicks on, but if you did it correctly, you shouldn't have leaks, and it shouldn't be just kicking on all the time, which it doesn't, so that is good. But it's not a problem back there. I'll probably build a guard or a shelf around all that so I don't have stuff falling on it, but for now it works. Got the CB mounted up here. These are my switches for the compressor for the front locker, and then the front locker switch, and then the rear is on the other side.
Is that a factory rear locker?
Yes.
You're still running?
Yep, it's a TRD, so it's got the factory electric rear locker, which is awesome. So I didn't have to add too many switches there. Probably going to leave it at this point. It's clean and subtle.
Looks really clean.
Yeah, I'm definitely on a kick of I don't want to be working on it. I want to be driving it because I daily the crap out of this thing. So I guess now we can move on to the transfer cases. I do have dual cases in this. This has the Trail Gear dual case kit. And then for the front case, I have 4 7 gears in it. So I wanted to do the lower gears while I had it apart, and I have a couple friends that have them, and they said they're well worth it to go ahead and get done, so I did that when I was in there. And then the back case is 2.57 in low, and this originally had the electric shift Tacoma case, and I swapped it out for a J-shift manual Tacoma case. That way it was all manual. I didn't have to worry about any electronic shifting it, although in hindsight, I think I'd rather have left it the electronic shift because I had to do a bunch of wiring stuff with that. And Tacoma has a little bit of a weird wiring system as far as how they use grounds and that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of hiccups with that. I know our last trip down to Sand Hollow, it made it really finicky for trying to run the gears that I was wanting to, whether I was wanting to run the front case in low or just the back case in low. Now I can do that since I got the wiring fixed, but the console isn't quite how I want. I just have it kind of cut out like that. Like I said, it's working. It's going to stay that way for a while, but in the future, I'm probably going to machine some billet aluminum pieces to kind of clean that up a bit. But that wraps up the interior. It's pretty straightforward. So I guess we'll go ahead and talk about the tires. I have 37-inch Patagonias on here, and then these are 17x9 wheels. I don't remember what name the wheels are on these. Everyone always asks me, but I can't remember. These are not real bead locks. They do look like it. It's just got a removable beauty ring there. I think it works good. I mean, I guess you can change it out when they get scuffed up, but
Got a little rock rash on there. Was that from Sand Hollow?
yeah, that was. We went down to Sand Hollow with this last year, which was an awesome trip. I got this so I could build it to be a built vehicle and then drive it to the place I was going wheeling. So I think that worked out great. Wheeled it total of 2,500 miles left here, drove down to Sand Hollow on the interstate at like 95, and then we wheeled it on some hardcore trails and drove it home. So that was a win.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, that was a big accomplishment for me. I want to do more trips like that. I'm happy that went well. So,
Do you have anything done with the axles?
yeah, so to a degree, they're pretty close to stock. There's a little bit done. The front has an AIR-BR locker in it. I'm running 410s front and rear. I wanted to keep those. That way if I need to get parts or anything, it was a little bit easier to get them further away from home. And then the rear axle has the factory E-locker in it. As far as those two things, the axles are stock. The rear suspension is also stock. I think it has around a 1-inch lift, maybe 2-inch lift total. I think it's closer to 1. It's pretty low. That was one thing I wanted to do, is keep this really low. So to do that, to fit the front tires, I had to do a whole pile of trim in here on the back corner here that goes into the cab. You have to cut that all open, and a lot. It honestly
there's a lot
sucked.
of material moved right there.
Yeah, because you can't. It's not like a straight axle where you can just move the axle forward to gain your clearance. I kept it IFS, so I needed to do a lot of trimming there. The back, I didn't have to do too much. I just made some longer bump stops, and the tires go all the way up to the fenders on the back there. It works pretty good. I like it. And a big thing I wanted to do with this, along with the axles, is I really wanted to keep them closer to stock. So if I needed to get parts, I could do that, and it'd be a little bit easier. I wasn't trying to find like 488 gears in the middle of nowhere trying to fix this thing.
Yeah, basically you can go to any junkyard and find a Tacoma differential that's...
To a degree.
Yeah.
They're a little harder to find. Everyone's robbing them out. But
Yeah, everybody keeps stealing them.
no, it works good. You grab a flashlight here, and I'll show you the front suspensions. So for the front suspension on this, something I wanted to do with this was retain the drivability with it, the way it rides, and just a nice, cozy daily driver that I can still go wheel those hardcore trails with. So I left it with IFS in the front. I like it. There's a lot of guys local that are running the stuff and have proven that it holds up good. underneath this, I have the Fox coilovers with SPC upper control arms, and then I just put some white line lower control arm bushings in it. I just redid the entire front suspension on this in a video, I don't know, a week ago, so if you want to check that out, that'll be down in the description. You can check that video out and see what all I did there, but that's pretty much wraps up the front. There's not a lot to it. I think the front's doing pretty good. It rides a little bit better, but I only have...
Did you notice a big difference when you went to the Fox shocks?
A little bit. I've only got one wheeling trip on it, and it wasn't really a wheeling trip, so it wasn't aggressive or anything. I still want to get some more under it before I give my full feedback on it, but
in town drivability, is it a little?
It's a little bit better. It seems more agile. I don't know if that's because it has all new parts or what, or just the way we have it aligned at the moment. But it definitely seems a little bit more agile. It rides a little bit smoother. I have them a little more cranked up than I would like. I think I might possibly want to crank those down and put a spacer in it so I'm not running as much spring pressure. But realistically, what's probably going to happen is I'm just going to leave it because I drive the crap out of it. But
Did you make these rock sliders?
So these rock sliders are a kit. I think I got these from ExoFab, just like I did the K5. It's a great kit for the price. It comes all pre-bent and notched, so all you got to do is assemble it and then weld it together. So for this, I assembled it, I welded it on the table, and then I held them up there at the angle I wanted, and then I welded those straight to the frame. So these work great. When I was in San Paulo, remember that one obstacle I dropped down on?
Oh, yeah.
I thought for sure I was going to bend those up. I know Tim has bent his a little bit, but it didn't bend it. Surprisingly, I did use the crap out of those.
Yeah, they got some good rub on them.
Heck yeah, they worked really awesome.
I remember you got caught on one of these out here going around a rock. It didn't hold you back or anything. It just barely caught the rock, and it kept it off the body.
Did its job.
It did its job.
Yeah, they're clean. Definitely, I will say, when doing these, I've seen other people do this, which is comical. When you tilt them up, don't forget to make sure your door still opens. Because I've seen people weld these on with them tilted too far up, and then their freaking door won't open. So don't be that guy that makes that mistake, or you're going to have a very shitty day. But no, I think these work great. They're also a good sidestep if you want to get in the box.
Yeah, for jumping up in here.
Yeah.
What all do you have in your toolbox? What do you carry with you?
A lot of stuff for wheeling. So I got, it ranges from gloves to rain gear, a spare front CV, because I mean, the CV, or the front is decently strong, but let's be honest, the front CVs are somewhat weak, so they break. I carry those just because I know they break, which is fine. It's nice knowing what you're going to break and being able to carry it. So I got that. I got my Voodoo tow rope over there with some soft shackles in there. And then these are my airlines for airing up when we finish wheeling, get the tires all aired up. And then just a container full of fluids, brake clean, stuff like that. Got my air system over here. You can see all that in the other videos.
You did a video of it. If you want to check out this air system, go check out that other video.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. This air system is probably one of my favorite things I've built for off-roading. Because when I go out snow wheeling and I'm done snow wheeling, I'm wanting to go home. I'm cold, I'm tired, I'm ready to get home. So if it's a couple people, you know, I want to air up as fast as I can and get on the road and head back home. And it's nice because if you are cold, this can air up itself while you're sitting in the warm cab staying warm. So I really like that, and it's working awesome. I've used it
pretty fast too. How fast can you fill up your tires?
6 minutes and 30 seconds, and I would say less than a minute and a half for hooking up the lines and taking them off.
From like
2 psi to 25 psi.
It's impressive.
Yeah, so it works really good. I got my lights here to see into the box. They're pretty bright when it's dark. Don't mind the wiring. I ran out of loom, so I still need to loom that and tuck that all up there, but we'll get that taken care of once the loom comes in. And then I just got my switches set here for the lights. I also have some lights there at the back of the bed I still need to get wired in, but they're just chilling there, not hurting anyone.
Carry a full-size spare?
Yep. This is my first full-size matching spare I've ever had, so kind of excited about it. Something that's also cool with the spares is if you rotate it through your other tires, you get a lot longer life out of them. So that's nice. I'm happy to have this. this actually happened because I wasn't able to find a spare before we were leaving, and I was running out of time. I'm like, screw this, I'm buying one to make sure I have a spare for when we went to Sand Hollow. So, yeah, it works good. I know there's not a lot of bed space in this, but I didn't buy this thing to go haul a bunch of stuff around. That's why I have my Dodge Diesel, is for hauling stuff. This is for wheeling and daily driving, so that's all I use it for. And then here in the back, if you look over here on the side, I have all those rigid containers. They're behind the garbage can here. But in those containers, I have other stuff, like one of them has tools, and then one has some spare parts like sensors and seals, stuff like that. So in the future, I'm going to build a rack to where those lock into place back here. And when you go on long trips, you can put those in. You can put clothes, whatever you want, because they're waterproof and they stack. So those are really nice. No, that's pretty much wraps up the bed and whatnot. But I still have the stock bumpers on it, front and rear. They're working.
Just got a center hitch shackled out.
Yeah, just a tow point there. I'm not sure if I'll change that. This might potentially get bobbed in the future. That was my original plans. But I decided to not do it at the moment because, honestly, this is working fine. And like I said, I don't want to spend a bunch of time or money on this at the moment.
Most of our wheeling's done in snow, and I don't really... I've never noticed an issue of you guys hanging up on the back in the snow.
It's usually the rocks.
Down in Moab and doing rock crawling stuff.
Yeah, and then I'm going to keep the front bumper stock. I like the looks of this over the others.
Yeah, it looks really clean.
That's something I like about this build, is it's very clean. It's almost has a sleeper look to it.
It looks fairly stock when you drive by this on the road. It doesn't look lifted. It doesn't look like it has 37s on it.
Which makes it awesome because it can go run the hardcore trails, but it doesn't look like that hardcore off-road vehicle. It's kind of all hidden.
Yeah, blends in really good at the Walmart.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave the stock bumper, and then I have a Smittybilt winch that I got a while back. This is what I'm going to end up putting on it, and I'm going to make a bracket that goes behind the bumper, and it'll kind of be like a hidden winch. That'll allow me to retain the factory bumper and the clean looks that I'm going for.
Do you ever worry about hitting your blower radiator?
So the thing is with that, there's a skid plate that's supposed to be on there, but I don't have them on at the moment because I was doing some work and they just haven't got put on yet.
I know how that goes.
I also have a really big one that goes underneath that protects the transfer case. I don't know if you can see it. We'll grab a flashlight here. Somewhere around here we got a flashlight sitting, but I have a skid plate underneath that goes, and then I built a bar that goes, this bar right here that goes across, holds up the back of the skid plate, and then the front of the skid plate goes and bolts up to the factory cross member. I've made a piece on the front side, so those are the two mounting points for the skid plate, and then my exhaust with the long tube headers just runs down both sides and crosses over there to a V-band, and then goes the rest of the way out. I wanted to make sure I made the exhaust where I could take it out if I need to work on anything. Also, this is where I put my secondary transfer case mount for a little bit of extra mounting. I don't have it in there at the moment because I was chasing a vibration, and that mount, it uses poly bushing, so I was thinking it was coming from there, but it wasn't. So I need to get that put back in. So, yeah.
Well, is there anything else? I guess you got I got a light bar up here.
Yeah, the typical mall crawler stuff. You know, you remember when I had my XJ and I put one of these on before like anyone in town had one?
Yeah.
Now everyone is running them.
Yeah.
And I always have them on my vehicles because I really like the way the one light bar, you know, it has enough light for everything I want to do. I've thought about putting some pillar mounted lights on here like I had on my XJ in the past, but realistically the front does good. I don't want to make it overwhelming. I want to keep that kind of clean look if I can.
Yeah.
So,
do you these window visors? Do you like these or?
Yeah, those are awesome. I actually just replaced these because they're all broke up. So I replaced these and the mirrors and these because everyone knows with these Toyotas, these peel off.
Peel really bad.
Looks a lot better.
Did you just
now.
buy all new seals all the way around or?
Just these.
Just that
so
piece.
The rest of them are original, but just this because it peels up. These are awesome. I use these a lot. I have my window cracked, you know, for airflow, you know, and it's nice, especially if it's raining. So.
I want to get some for my XJ to be able to roll your window down and get a little bit of airflow, but not have snow and rain and stuff come flying in at you while you're driving. It's kind of obnoxious.
Yeah, no, they work awesome. They're actually really cheap. I think these are like $35 for both of them.
On like Amazon or?
Yeah, I'll try to find the link to them, and I'll put all the links in the description for all the parts I have on this. But yeah, because I wasn't originally going to do them, and then I seen how much they were. I'm like, okay, I should probably pull the broken ones off and put the new ones on. So
Get a lot of fender trimming to make these 37s fit.
yeah.
But it seems to perform really well. You've always done really good when you go out.
No, it works good. It's a really good combo. Shout out to Pat and Tim for kind of perfecting a lot of this combo. It works good. A lot of the stuff that I put on here is stuff that they run also, and that's a big reason why I did it, is because they've shown that it works good, and I really, really wanted to retain the drivability.
Yep.
I put so many miles on this driving it daily, and I have a lot of vehicles, and for me to drive just this one all the time speaks big volumes in my opinion. It's nice and cozy, small cab, quiet, it's nimble.
Lots of power.
Yeah, it works good. I mean, it's kind of hard going from the V8 stroker engine to this, but it does good for what it is.
Yeah.
And that was the other reason why I wanted to keep the 410 gears, is so on the highway I could have a really good cruising speed. You know, we're doing 90, 95 down to San Hollow, and that was awesome. And that's because of the 410 gears, being able to do that. That's what the blower is for. The blower makes up for it, like on the hills and those higher, speeds, not having lower gears. So
Yeah, me and Pat rode down together, and I drove a few stretches of the highway, and having a supercharger is really nice, because I daily drive a Tacoma as well as I have my XJ. Jeep people don't kill me. I also drive a Toyota, but I like having my Tacoma, and it runs great on the highway. It's super comfy, just like he's saying on his. It rides really nice. Mine doesn't have a supercharger though, which is a bummer, but I'm not building mine. I literally just use it for daily driving, and I have my Jeep for off-road.
It doesn't have big tires on it or anything like that. The blower's kind of added for the big tires, I think. I mean, it takes the equation out of needing lower gears, and I'd rather have the factory gears in it. That way I can get parts. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I don't want to break it 2,000 miles from home and then, look, I can't get gears. I'm just kind of screwed, or I got to figure something else out. So it works good. I really like how this has turned out, and what it's doing. As far as changes, I don't really know of any. I got some other builds I want to get done and do in the future, so this one is probably going to stay exactly how it is.
Just something you can drive to work, and then when somebody gives you a holler, hey, we're going wheeling, you're ready to go.
Yeah, just instantly ready to go. If there was anything that I do to this in the future, when I have other wheelers going and this can be down, I will probably see about making the front a little bit bulkier. It'd be nice to not break CVs in the front. So that would be one thing I'd look at, but I don't know. It's hard to want to change something that works so good.
Yeah, that was my big problem building the XJ, is I had one that worked really well, and to tear down and do a whole new build, it was hard to do, but I guess it's worth it now. But to have something you can just jump in and drive and not worry about, and be able to go wherever you want and do whatever you need to do, whether you have to drive to another city and you're putting a couple 100 miles on in one trip, or you want to go wheeling in it. It's nice to have that. That dependability of the Toyota Tacoma is really...
It's definitely a big change, because, I was wheeling the K5, and that has the big V8, the 40s and whatnot, and it does good. Probably better than this to an extent, but that's the thing, even though this is on 37s and a decent amount less power, I still really enjoy it. I don't even think about it not going quite as far as the K5. It just, the coziness of the cab and the drive there makes up for it not doing quite as well when you're off-road.
Is it pretty quiet in the cab when you're wheeling?
Yeah, it's awesome. It is so cozy, and that's where it all comes into play, is I like the coziness. It's very relaxing driving to those places and when you're off-roading. So I like it, and that's just kind of everyone's different taste. Some people don't really care how loud it is or anything like that. I like the creature comforts like power windows and AC and all those fun things, which I think you're slowly getting there.
Yeah, jumping to the 2001 Cherokee made a huge difference on interior. I really like the interior. It's a lot cleaner. It's quieter inside. It flows better. Makes you feel like you're not driving an old tractor out in the snow.
It's nice.
I never noticed it until I got the new one. How tractory the interiors on those older Cherokees are. They're
pretty brutal. There's no extra features. The new ones are way nicer. They just have a more comfortable feeling.
Yep.
So they.
Well, I guess, is there anything else you want to talk about on the pickup?
No, I think we covered it all. The engine, trans, dual cases, the axles. There's not much to it. I'll try to find the link for the wheels. The other thing is the link for all the parts that I used on this. I'll try to put those down in the description. So if you want to check those out, if you're building your Tacoma up, you can check those parts out and see if there's anything that you would like to get there. But
maybe ask some questions about dual cases.
Drop a comment down below if you have any questions on this, or if there's stuff you'd like to see done to it, or something that you'd like to see talked about a little bit more in depth. Just drop a comment down below and we'll check those out. I read all the comments and I try to respond to as many as I can, so that place is there so you guys can voice what you think. I think that's going to be it.
Yep.
I got quite a few other videos on this. Make sure to go check out the air system for it. I'm extremely happy with how it turned out, and it works good. So that's going to be it for this one, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Later.